Hey, screw the intro. Like I've said before, bonus video. J. Cole responded to Kendrick Lamar on this surprise mixtape release. As of April 5th, this got released just a few hours ago, and the internet and music community is being taken by storm. The last track, 7 Minute Drill, is essentially the response and diss track, allegedly, to Kendrick Lamar's Like That verse on Metro Boomin and Future's collab album that released a couple of weeks ago. And before I dive right into this and dissect the lyrics and my thoughts and shit like that, I do want to say I respect both artists. Growing up, these artists, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, have been in my top three in terms of rap and hip hop for since, like I said, since I was in middle school. Since uh, Good Kid, Mad City dropped, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and so on and so forth. I'm a fan of both, huge fan of both. I respect both equally, and I'm more interested in to see what's going to happen between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, whatever the hell is going to be going on there. And I think that this is J. Cole buying Drake more time, but that's just my opinion. What the hell do I know? But this track right here, 7 Minute Drill, diving right into it, I also do have to say that you cannot compare a 3 minute diss response track to a 16 bar verse. I'm already seeing the comments. This thing has only been out for 2 hours. I'm putting out my initial thoughts and how I feel about the track, but I see comments that are like, oh my god, J. Cole took this by a long shot. He's miles ahead of Kendrick Lamar. I don't think so. I don't think it's necessarily a response that should be taken that way. I think it's kind of a warning response, and J. Cole really pretty much says that himself in this track. It's like a warning shot. He can probably has more in the vault and has more to show or boast, and he clearly says that in the track. But this is really like, someone getting backed into the corner, flashing like, "Hey, you don't want to mess with me, man. Like, I could fire back, or I'll bite back." That's pretty much how you're supposed to take this track. It's not necessarily a diss. It is a response, and I do give him props for that. But it's not taken. It shouldn't be taken the way how people are already taking it. Like for example, I told him chill out. The he's J. Cole's essentially talking about how they alerted him right away, like, "Hey, Kendrick dissed you on this track, like that." The collab album between Metro Boomin and Future, and they told him right away, like, "Hey, you want us to take care of him? Like, we'll do it." So J. Cole responds with, "I told him chill out. How I look having henchmen. If anyone's gonna be popping, I'm gonna be doing the clenching." So I do admire that that bar, because essentially J. Cole's kind of talking about a henchman usually is like the evil doer of like a villain of sorts, and J. Cole isn't really trying to portray himself that way. He's not trying to uh how can I say, be the bad guy in all of this, and or try to make himself look as if he has malicious intent, I should say. And I do, that's pretty interesting coming from him. And then, but he kind of contradicts himself, because later on, like a couple bars later, he starts talking about Kendrick's discography in the past 12 years. So if we're taking that into account, he's talking about Good Kid, Mad City and onwards all the way up till Mr. Around the Big Steppers that released back in 2022. And he says that the first was amazing. The second was like putting people to sleep, but it's gassed up. The third was his prime, and the last project, which is Mr. Around the Big Steppers, was tragic. He calls it. He goes as so far as to say it was tragic, which are big words considering. I think Mr. Around the Big Steppers and J. Cole, him out of all people calling it tragic is kind of weird and ironic, given that J. Cole is very humble, talks a lot about life and the struggles of sorts. He is the type of rapper who people mostly associate their, how can I say, struggles with, and personal struggles, life, stuff like that. And for him to say that, I feel like he's just talking out of his ass, because he's talking about Kendrick's discography as if it's nothing and that he hasn't really accomplished anything, when the reason this all started is because Kendrick Lamar told him, "Hey, I'm not going to be a part of your groupie. I'm not a part of the big 3." J. Cole J. Cole is the one who initiated the big 3 term. Like it was him, Kendrick and Drake. So for him to go back and be like, "Yeah, your discography wasn't all that." And by the way, you take he also has a bar where he talks about four albums in 12 years that I can divide. And I'm locked and loaded. I got 2 classics that I could drop right now. Dude, like I just said, you are praising this guy, and he does mention that, that he's his brother. He sees him as a brother. He sees Kendrick that way, but he's not afraid to bite back, and he's being pushed in a way to respond. Like, he's not going to just say something, and I'm not saying he shouldn't say something. I'm just saying there's a lot of contradiction, and it's ironic how he talks about these things because he kind of has nothing else to say and has nothing else on Kendrick. He averages one hard verse like every 30 months. Arms too short to box God or something like. I'm abbreviating there, but something along those lines. And the like I said right there, it's quality over quantity. Yes, Drake has the numbers. J. Cole also has numbers, but if you haven't looked, Kendrick Lamar has had record-breaking sales in terms of his shows. His Mr. Around the Big Steppers tour was record-breaking, grossing the highest millions of dollars ever in a tour. And to call an album tragic and that shit was lame, I mean, I don't know, dude. You're not really selling it. He's not really selling it is what I'm trying to say. Like he's doing like little pokes here and there, but they're not really falling through. I'm not saying that this was an L take by Cole. I'm just saying that he contradicts himself. The production, the first half and the beat switch, they're good, but it's not like anything compared to like that was produced by Metro Boomin. And I just have to say that this is okay. It's an okay response. It's a little warm up, and keep that in mind as well. And also, I do have to throw this in there. Excuse me. I have to throw this in there. He mentions that he can drop 2 classics right now. He has been hyping up the fall off and teasing the fall off since 2018 KOD. It's been 6 years. So to be like, "Oh, you dropped 4 albums in 12 years, I can divide. I can drop 2 classics right now." Then do it. Why are you talking shit about taking your time and, the gap between projects? Just do it. I mean, like I said, it's self-contradicting, and it's ironic, and it's honestly kind of funny. It was an okay response. Just leave with that. Let me know what y'all think with the comments below. Everyone needs to chill the fuck out as well. It's not the diss or response that everyone wanted, but people are making it that way.